So today I want to share a story that really resonated with me, a piece of hidden history, but also a story about dignity, memory, and the tough, quiet power of holding on to yourself, no matter what the world tries to take. It's called Chains of Grace, and it starts in Savannah, Georgia in 1764. There's something about this story I can't shake. The way it's both brutal and beautiful, the way a single voice can survive even the harshest silence. Picture this: an auction block, hot southern air, the metallic clang of iron as the auctioneer's cane cracks down. "Next," he calls, and Grace Carter steps forward. She's 16, but in some ways already so much older. Grace was born on a West African coast and taken, kidnapped, at 12. She hasn't spoken in 3 years. Silence has become her shield. She's bought by Edward Turner, a cotton plantation owner, who's known for anger, not compassion. Grace is a number bought like lumber, her fate sealed with silver coins. She's sent to Field Row, the roughest, most brutal quarters on Turner's estate, where nights are spent on straw, hunger is constant, and every day is defined by the endless reckoning of picking cotton until your fingers bleed or your back gives out. But what strikes me here is that even in this harsh world, Grace doesn't just survive by submitting. She observes. She remembers. Her mother's songs beneath the stars, her father's carvings, traditions that rooted their family across generations, even across an ocean. She remembers the simple but powerful truth that names and stories matter. That memory is a form of resistance. And so, in this world where hope flickers, Grace slowly starts to hum. At first, so softly that it's barely noise, just a private memory leaking out. Then, over the days and months, she turns that hum into a song. She weaves together fragments from her childhood, invents some words, borrows others. English, Mende, songs stitched together out of pain, longing, hope. Something happens. The people around her start to shift. Where there was body-crushing exhaustion, now there's a spark, a little shared fire. The men next to her stand taller. The women behind her begin to work with a steadier, fiercer rhythm. The possibility of dignity ripples through the field. Even Thomas, the 9-year-old son of the white overseer, picks up on the change. He sneaks down from the big house just to listen. And one day, curious and wide-eyed, he asks her, "Why do you sing?" Grace looks at him, really looks at him, and breaking years of silence, simply replies, "Because I still belong to myself." That line just lands for me. I still belong to myself. After everything, she holds on to that truth, and somehow sharing it changes things, even if just in small, invisible ways. That year, the winter is deadly. People die in their beds from cold like no one's seen before. Then a fever sweeps through Turner's household. Edward Turner is bedridden, his wife flees. Thomas, the young boy, is left alone and very sick. Slaves are expressly forbidden from entering the main house, but Grace goes anyway. Inside, she finds Thomas burning with fever, terrified and abandoned. She cools his skin with wet cloths, feeds him broth, and through the night sings the same gentle songs her mother once sang to her. And Thomas, against the odds, survives. Years pass, 10 more of them. Grace still belongs to the Turner estate, but everything is different, even if the chains remain. Thomas becomes a young man, educated, unusual for his background. And secretly, Grace has taught herself to read, piecing together letters from trash and lost pages. She passes that gift on to Thomas, who in turn passes on the stories she told him. Some friends mock him, others grow quiet, thinking. Then, in a moment that surprised even me reading about it, Thomas stands up before the court in Savannah and confesses everything. The woman who saved my life was called property, but she taught me how to be human. I owe her more than freedom. I owe her justice. It still wasn't the law or a war that freed Grace, but the radical, simple action of someone listening, really listening, and standing up. The next spring, Grace leaves the Turner plantation, not as a runaway or a servant, but as a teacher. She finds her way to a rickety chapel, and there, in that battered space, she gathers children, black and white, teaching them letters, teaching them memory, teaching them to belong to themselves. When Grace dies at 73, the church bells ring for an hour. No inheritance, no grand tomb, just the memory of a woman who turned her chains into songs, her pain into purpose, and who never let anyone forget her name. Grace Carter. What gets me about all this is how sometimes survival isn't just about staying alive. It's about refusing to give up your name, your story, your song. Grace did that, and in a small way, she shifted the world around her. That's worth remembering. Thanks for hanging out with me for this story. Remember, no matter what's taken, some things, the best things, can't be chained.